All right, guys, good afternoon. Welcome aboard to the market recap for the week. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of GAR Capital. Thanks for taking the time out of your Friday to join me this evening. The Dow futures. I always think of the morning note. Dow Jones actually closed today up 132 points. NASDAQ up about 0.31%. The S&P at 3970. Volatility index 2174 down 3.85%. Equal weight S&P gained 0.85%. IWM small caps did bounce. I was talking about that short I had this morning. I'm personally still holding it. Again, that's for April 21st. I got as high as around 18% on that, but I did not signal that just for the fact that there's just too much uncertainty out there. Again, I'm just playing the unusual option activity with the chart. But again, I'm willing to take that risk over the weekend. It's not like it's a huge position for me, but I expect a little more weakness in small caps, or at least to fill that gap. 10-year treasury yields fell below 3.4% today, 3.38%. TLT up 0.42%. That's the 20-year bond fund. High yield credit was down 0.20% at 73.60. And take a look at S&P 500 futures. Well, let's take a look at energy, 69.21, below $70 a barrel. Let's go and take a look at the market action today in terms of the S&P 500. And again, it could be setting up for the actual bear flag. Again, you have this downward action, upward action within this flag or channel, and then you have the breakdown. Looked like we were probably going to get there today, but buyers defended that 39.40, 39.50 level. We got above the 200, which we broke this morning. We got above the 50-day moving average where we were up yesterday, and we got above the 100-day moving average where we were below yesterday. So the bulls definitely did their job today, got us above 4,000. 4,000 seems to be that kind of magnet line this week. Every time we were just kind of chopping around that area. Now, in terms of resistance, we're looking at 40.40, at least for the near term, but we're right between 40.40 and right around 39.40. So about a 100-point move. So it's either way at this moment. So when there's any uncertainty out there, we really don't want to add risk on the table, especially into the weekend. Again, we don't know what the headlines for Deutsche Bank is going to be. We don't know any headlines regarding central banks. Who knows what they're going to say? So it's probably just best not to have tons of risk on the board. Our Apple calls for the week actually bounced back and actually hit in the money. So let's go over the actual trades together. Let's go over the first one, which was Microsoft. And Microsoft was a trade that we had set up based on the breakout that we had on Friday. Monday, we got slammed. We actually had the 290 calls. So let's kind of zoom out here and take a look. So basically what we're looking for was this level here to be retested right around 284.78. We just wanted to get to 285, really was the point, as quick as we could. But unfortunately on Monday we did fall rather sharply. And then we had lost 2 days because of the weekend. So again, Monday's big premium crush really hurt the option. We got as low as around, right at the open, around minus 80 something percent. So at that point, you're just hoping for any kind of retest of that flush. We didn't get that really till Thursday, and that's pretty much the day we closed. So we kind of hung around 280. All this is premium killing. If you were short here, you got burned. If you were trying to go long again right now, you're pretty much flat, if anything. So a tough one. I wouldn't change anything about this trade personally, because it's something you can't really predict on that end. I don't know exactly why Microsoft fell that day. Could be some headlines, but again, NASDAQ was kind of getting rotated out on Monday anyways. Microsoft took a big hit. And it's not like we retraced that big move on Thursday either. If we would have just retraced completely to 266, fine, I'll put my hands up and say, well, we got a retest, and that's all it is. But it was really just Monday's move. After that, the stock was pretty much green across the board for the day, for the week. So kind of ended up where it was on Friday, a whole round trip to, you guessed it, 280 on Microsoft. So that was tough. That premium burn, what can you do? Let's go to Google or Alphabet. And here's a trade that we did on the 17th of March. I want to say that was it? 17th of March was Friday. Okay, I was looking at my calendar here. So let's go to Friday. We'll go ahead and do this on the hourly chart, give you guys a little bit of an idea. So basically what we're considering on the daily chart here on Google was just to retest this high. And there's a gap to fill too. So we wanted to get under this one. All I wanted to do was really get back to that point and use the 200-day moving average as kind of that jump off point. and we got that. So we got in the money on it. Obviously, we closed. I closed for 40%, and Google hit as high as 50% in the money. I didn't track the runners after that. But again, that 200-day moving average was our springboard. Right now, we do have some resistance here at 108.05. We kind of got close in terms of wicking that level. If we break above that, then 110 is your gap fill. So again, we're starting to get to a possible zone where we're looking at Alphabet for some more action. And if not, again, if we reject 108.05, we can always retest the 200-day. So again, that would probably be our target moving forward, is right around that 102 area for support, since that's what's been holding up. It was a great trade, so well done, team. Again, ended up in the money. I don't know where those contracts are or where they closed. The 24th, we got the 105 calls, trading at $1.96. Yeah, just about 40% right now with that premium burn on Thursday. I think it was Wednesday or Thursday we had that premium burn because of Janet Yellen speaking. Next we have is Apple. Apple is a really good setup as well. Everything is that Apple looks like it's heading up for an upward wedge formation. So again, usually when you break down, this will be expected. Get a measured move probably down to around 147. Again, if anything, will probably be 155 area. We bounced with the resilient market as well. We know that Apple is the largest holding of the SPY. So again, if SPY moves, Apple more than likely is going to move as well. And again, this one we went and got in on March 20th. That was, I believe, yesterday. And it hit 40% and in the money. Let me make sure I have that correct. I'll make sure. I think we hit, Apple was on when? The 20th. Make sure. Okay, yeah, I see it. The 20th was Wednesday. So we got in on Wednesday. Let me go ahead and zoom in here. On the hourly chart, here we go on Wednesday. All we're expecting was to break out above 160. And that's what we were looking for. We had a little bit of a reversal. We played that support and bounce. I believe that was on Wednesday. Yep, playing that support and bounce. I have the analysis set up here. Let me go ahead and send it to show you guys on the watch list and charts on our Discord. Okay, here we go. All right, guys, here's the analysis on Apple. The daily chart showing an inverse head and shoulders pattern we were looking for. We were looking for that break of 157.34. This was a freebie given out on Instagram for you guys. If you guys caught it, it was in the money. Well done again. And again, we're using that Fibonacci line as our resistance. With a bit stronger action, NASDAQ and Tech, which we got this week, has a chance to test the top end trend line of 165. We didn't get there, but again, we're pretty close. We're about $5 away now. And again, that'll probably be very, very big resistance for Apple moving forward. Again, do we get a little extra juice for that? We'll see. The next one was Palantir. Palantir was one from the weekend from Nick. And Palantir was this one. Let's see if we have it here. We send this out every weekend. Palantir, nice bull flag forming on this one. Above 820, we can play the 9 calls. We played the 8.5 calls on that. So again, you can see the chart here. It's a little smaller on this end, so you really have to zoom in. Next time we'll get an extra chart sent out. But that was a good setup as well on Palantir. It did not end up in the money. It ended up in the money, but it didn't settle there. So 8.5 was the level. We pretty much got out around here, around 8. I think in the money around 857. That one hit as high as 80% in the money for the week. One more to go. 2 more to go. Qs. We had the 315 target. We did that yesterday and got 42%, hit 100% in the money. But again, it is for next week as well. Well, we don't have it anymore, but again, it would have been for next week. If we can get above 311.84, maybe we can ride the momentum again. Just replay the 315s. We could do this all day. And again, they are running a little expensive, so maybe on Monday, if we get a little bit of a flush in terms of some bank headlines, those premiums will reset. Maybe we'll get down to 310. If we defend that area, I would start taking a look at the 312.5s, maybe 315 calls on Qs. So again, the good thing about volatility, guys, and ping pong action and choppiness is that it really gives you an opportunity to take a look at the charts as well and start setting up for the weekend or for the next week, your next resistance points, your next support points, because just because you get out of the trade one time doesn't mean you can't get back in multiple times if the chart favors your momentum. And then the last one here was Bank of America. This one I sent as well to Masterclass. Here is the daily chart, and pretty ugly one here on BAC. Again, that bear flag broke down, and you can see that on the weekly chart. We do have that gap to fill again, 24.96. It ended the day green, but we caught it yesterday. It hit as high as 100% in the money. We have the 27 puts. They are now out of the money. Let me see where they are currently. This is for next week. The 27 puts are now at 21 cents. Our entry when we got in was 48. So I thought maybe I have the wrong date. Okay, sorry, the 31st, excuse me. Here we go. So the 27 are now at 75 cents. So again, if you still have these, puts, here we go, 27, 58. Yeah, you're up about 10 cents on your premium, even if you were still holding on to Bank of America, the 27 puts. Again, we got in at 48 cents. These are now 58 cents for about a 20% gain if you're still holding it, which we are not. We got out at 40 and we moved on. So a very strong week in terms of market action. Really doesn't really give us much in terms of certainty moving forward. We're just back to that 4,000 level, now at 4,006. Does this mean that, anything can happen? Absolutely. And when you're really thinking of that possibilities of the market, you really don't want to add more risk to that. That's why I don't want to have really much for the weekend, as I explained earlier. But again, this is a point now in terms of technicals that the bears and the bulls have really, really good cases. You could say that, hey, we'll retest the bottom end of this range here on S&P. You can say we're going to test the top end range of this here on S&P. So again, more than likely, we're just going to have to play reversals until April. April tends to be seasonally strong. So again, if we do end up March above 4,100, that's going to be a very, very big win for the bulls, because then that would be a very strong first quarter. And first quarter usually sets up very nicely towards the tail end of the year for the rest of the year in equities. But as of right now, this is where we are, 4,000 S&P. And if you're playing at home, you're pretty much looking at the S&P now at 4,000. That's pretty much the same place you were if you traded back in May 16th of last year. I know, not really much of an investable market, but that's where we are currently. And we'll keep an eye on headlines as we go on Twitter. So if anything, we'll post on there. Have a great rest of your weekend. Great week, team. Let's keep it moving. Of course, keep that momentum going. We're right around 83% win-loss for the week. And we just got that Microsoft loss. And in terms of March, we are now at 79.6% win-loss tally, Microsoft being the only loser added to it. And keep in mind, guys, Alphabet and SPY, back from March 10th when we got in, they hit target. Unfortunately, we just held, and it just reversed on us, and that happens. Netflix was just one that didn't work out. So Netflix and Microsoft, to me, were ones that are like, well, what can you do? But SPY and Alphabet, again, being consistent, keeping an eye on your positions, getting out when you need to. You don't have to hit a home run. That will be my lessons every time I look at this chart here. So we'll see what we get next week. Let's keep it moving and have a great rest of your weekend. I will catch you guys on Monday for the morning note. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Cheers.